I want to get rich today now. What should I do?
Pick up the phone, call a business. Hey, are you guys looking to adopt AI? Nope. Okay, cool. Are you looking to adopt AI? Nope. Cool. Are you looking to adopt AI? Yeah, it's funny enough. I just got out of a meeting talking about AI. What do you do?
Yep, 100% right. But where do you get the leads? Even Alex says the same thing. Do 100 a day.
I have the rule of 100 for people who are starting out for getting their first customers. 100 outreach attempts per day. You spend
100, find the leads, call them up, talk to them. But where do you find the leads? Now, there's a lot of lead gen, lead scraping software out there that are becoming more popular, and I'm about to rip the lid off them and give you a better way of doing it. And no, this is not just going to be Apollo or the Apollo API. In fact, it's actually been turned off and it doesn't work that well anymore. It doesn't really work at all anymore. But I'm going to show you a better way of doing it with a lot more functionality. And in fact, for the fun of it, I'm calling it the Lead Genie. It's just a bit of something that I've come up with for the video, just so it makes a bit more sense. But it's got a lot more functionality, and you see it very soon. But by the end, you'll be able to set up your own sort of Lead Genie automation build out for yourself, very specific for you, your business. And I'm even going to show you how to turn that into your own sort of SaaS software. So if you want to chuck up a website, run it in and charge people to scrape leads for them, you can. You'll be able to learn this by the end of the video. So what I'm going to show you is a total actual system. So it's a complete system that extracts the leads. It actually goes into LinkedIn, scrapes LinkedIn and finds some information, scrapes websites, their websites and the internet, and finds information on that lead. Then we have a whole total lead email generating tool that makes it hyper personalized. So that's really the big trick in here. Instead of just saying, hello, David, now we'll be able to say, hello, David, I saw what you put on LinkedIn, or hello, David, I saw your website advertised doing this. So it's going to be very specific. Plus, the whole system will be able to plug into your CRM system and create a campaign and actually create really beautiful looking emails. So I'll go for it all. But hey, my name is Altus. I got my own AI agency. I got my own AI school groups. I got 2 of them there. I got my own YouTube channel in here, kind of behind my face in here. That you can check out. And we do all sorts of things like this. I do it in my agency. We do it in the community. And it's all about AI and AI automation. So make sure you do check it out. And of course, I'll link all this in for you to download and have at the very end. Now, what are we talking about? Now, call this, it's either going to be the Lead Genie, but it comes with Lead Team 6, kind of like SEAL Team 6, right? But even though SEAL Team 6 is just a name, but 6 really cool AI agents or automation modules in here. And all it's going to do is we're going to use a really cool new lead finding tool that finds leads specific to an industry in a specific country or city, gets you that number depending on how much you want from a normal form that you fill in, so you can use it over and over. And then this orchestrating agent in here basically task 2 separate agents, and one is going to be a LinkedIn team, the other is going to be the web team. And the LinkedIn team is going to go through and scrape whoever we found's LinkedIn profile for all the latest information. It's going to scrape all their latest posts, because people put whatever their wins are specifically in business on LinkedIn. So this AI agent will know everything in regards to your lead about their LinkedIn, what's the latest. Likewise, with the web scraper, it's going to go around, scrape their website. Now, it's a very specific website extraction tool. It's not like Brave Search or something like that. It's the own one I'm going to show you, really cool, a lot cheaper, and you can use this all the time as well. But you scrape that main page with a web scraper, will know what the business is about, what new things that people usually post on their main page if they have it on there. But then we're also going to take Perplexity, who's really well up there at the moment with web scraping and finding web information really fast on the person. So all of this, we'll take it together, put it in an orchestrator, and the orchestrator will come up with 5 really good facts and a really specific LinkedIn message. So not only will we be able to do emails, we'll also be able to do LinkedIn outreach, because it will have that very specific message. And then all of this is going to take it and put it together in our email composer agent. Now, this email composer agent is going to be very specific to your business. I'm going to fill it in for our agency, but it's going to go out and figure out what these 5 interesting facts are, who this business is, and we're going to create a very good subject, very specific again to what we have. With all this information in this business, it's going to create 5 very specific subjects. Then it's going to create 5 very specific opening lines. It's that first line that you see in the email. When you look at the email, the come through in there is going to be very specific. Hey, I saw your business just got a new contract, and hey, just saw on your LinkedIn that you just posted about this and this. And that makes it really specifically personalized to that person. Now, when we have that, the next step that it's going to do, it's going to think about who our business owner is, what their business is, and then what problem we can solve with our product. Now, we're doing AI voice AI system, so it's going to say something very specific like, hey, we noticed that in plumbing businesses that plumbers are always really busy and therefore they miss calls and you're losing money. And it's going to have a really good liner with a call to action. So all of that's going to be super valuable, and we're going to log it in our awesome little logging thing in here, Excel sheet, and it's going to be in there for you to use all the time, especially the LinkedIn's one page one liner that we can send out to them on LinkedIn to get that contact and lead in there. But now we're going to take it to the next level, which is the cool part. We're going to take our emails, and this is going to be our HTML crafter. And our HTML crafter is going to take that raw email that we have, and we're going to compose it into a very specific looking, professional looking email for us that we're then going to send over to our CRM system. This is going to be go high level. It's going to add it into a whole email campaign, and it's going to send it out looking super cool and really, really great. And I'll show you here an example. For example, it all created this. It's not a preset module. It is not very made up to be like this. Your email, that email generator has actually made this in here. It's put the logo in here. It's put my name in here. And this is George. We emailed. They said, hey, George, I noticed there's proof recently partnered up because we're making a big move. Companies in your spot usually struggle with pipeline tracking, keeping track of falling through the cracks with systems like System Pros. All right, we instantly set up voice and phone angels, never miss a lead. Sweet. And then a call to action, and it's got me in there, and it does all this on autopilot. All you have to do is fill in those first parts, and bam, you're set and ready to go. Now, this is going to be the wonderful bit of the training. It's going to be good for you to use. It's going to be good for you to take the system and sell to someone else if you want to sell that as well. But there's a really good chance, and this is what I'm exposing, a lot of websites out there or agencies or SaaSes sell these kind of web scraping services as a service. So you can work it out, and I'll go through the pricing with it. Let's say 1,000 leads is costing you $1.60. So therefore they charge you a monthly subscription of $24 a month, and you can extract 1,000 leads a day, for example. And that is just leads. It's not even including all the other cool stuff that we are doing as well. Now I'm going to show you how you can chuck this all into, and let me just move this up. This is actually just a lovable website that I've built. Super easy. You can take this whole automation, plug it into Lovable, plug it into Superbase, plug it into Stripe, and you can have a SaaS agency by yourself. And this is just the website that I've just designed in here. It's the basics of Lovable and vibe coding, lead generating system in here, so people can come through and they go select your price, and for example, you sell this as a service to them. So really cool. And I'm going to show you how all that works. And it's basically just a really big adaptation of this, where we find the information, then create a spreadsheet for them, and we email out the spreadsheet for them depending on what they're asking. So really awesome video, really cool video. We're going to go through it step by step, and by the end of it, you'll have a really fantastic product for yourself, because this parts in here, especially the email creator, is super valuable. And all you have to do is come in once a week. If you want to do your 100 a day that Alex wants you to do, or if you want to do your 100 once a week, which will include your emails, and we're going to only set up a 3-day campaign, but you'll also have your direct link, the messages. So a lot of information for you to take that action on. And like the video said, You just got to keep going. Hey, cool, and there'll be phone numbers and other things in there as well that's valuable for you to use. But it's going to be total cool function, and you'll be able to go through all of this, download it, and make it your own. So it all starts with having a product and then having leads to give the product to. So let's get into this cool, awesome video. All right, let's get into this. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of details, and it's going to be a little bit more advanced simply because most of these modules in here are custom HTTP modules. So don't worry, because I'll give you all of this and we'll go through the build out and where it's come from. It's actually really super easy to do, but it's a little bit more advanced. But that is good because not everyone can go and mass produce this and give it to everyone. So this just makes it super valuable, especially if you're gonna sell the system or even using it exactly like it is for yourself, which I'll show you right now. So I was going to go through it quickly. I just disconnected the CRM system because I don't want to go start scraping and adding people into Go High Level, and we'll go through how this works as well. Really, really customizable, really editable, so you can make it your own, make it environment, and we'll go through all of it and you'll have a really good understanding of it. And again, if you're a bit more advanced and you just want the workflow, just head it over. But you need to have a bit of understanding, especially what's happening here. So I'll go through it, the execution of it, and then we'll go through each module by itself so you have a better understanding. So this one in here, I have a basic lead form in here. And again, your input can be anything. I'll show you how we do that down the bottom in there with our custom website later on. But for example, in here, what we want to look for is in the roofing industry. So I have roofing. A lot of people might list their business or their occupation as a roofer, and quite often people also say CEO of Auckland Roof Builders. So you also have the variable of roof. Now it does pick it up sometimes, when I find having three little variants of the same industry helps quite a bit as well. So I mean, you can change it up if you want to have different ones as well. So totally customizable again. Now you've got your country and your state. It's all lowercase, and we'll get into it a little bit later on. But some of the things you always need to, if you're going to specify a state, you also need to specify a country. But for this, I'm just going to say Australia. All right, and variants we want is just one of them. So gonna hit the submit button in there, move this out of the way, and pretty much what this is gonna do, I'll walk you through it. But we're gonna connect to our lead scraping tool, and again, it's not the Apify Apollo one. I'll show you a brand new one. It's a lot better. It's going to find one person's data for us. It's going to send it to our orchestrator, who's going to task the LinkedIn person to scrape their LinkedIn profile, their LinkedIn posts. Then it's going to also task our web team to scrape their website and do a bunch of research on them through Perplexity, which is a large language module that's got access to the internet. So really good in this. So then it takes all this information, puts it to our orchestrator, and our orchestrator will get 5 really hyper realistic information posts on the business and the person, because we would have you will see we would have gotten details from a specific person. You should be able to see a bit of the log in here as we go, and you can see down the side here we found roofing in Australia. Then our orchestrator has come through, and that's working through. So we found a George in here, and now it's creating a bunch of information on George. He's from 80 proof Liga in here. Go through, and 80 proof, got the website. Now anyway, it finds all the keywords, all the information. So it finds so much stuff on them, and then our composer takes all the details and it creates 3 really important things. It creates a good subject, then it creates that first opening line for us, then it creates a body within the email, so a message very specific that I've set up for myself, where we solve a problem for said business that goes into our call to action. So it's a really structured email system specifically for our business. Okay, so really important part within that. So it creates all these really cool things, puts it into a log file for us, and then the email enhancer just takes those emails and it makes it into what I showed you previously, a HTML formatted, and I'll see if we can copy and paste it out, an HTML formatted specific email that looks really professional for us. So we can just go through and I'll show you the Google Sheet is logged and everything. But we find all the web scrapers and you'll see it finds the website, scrapes through the website. Perplexity goes and finds some good search terms in regards to George from 80 Proof and the web scraper. So you can see all the things and we'll go build it out. Don't worry about it. And we've got a profile extractor. We've got the LinkedIn post one in here. And our LinkedIn agent does pretty well getting some good messages, and it actually sends a basic it also creates a LinkedIn first message to us. So love your post about talking about 80 roof global. So it's gone global and they've actually gone to Berlin. So really cool information in here. So puts it all together and you actually get this, it's all logged into a Google spreadsheet for us. So you can see I've obviously done that one before, quite find George quite often, but you'll have, move this a little bit smaller. You'll have the name, it logs a name, first name, last name, the business details, who they are in the business. So for example, the first one Lloyd I did here was the account manager that I found. That might not be the best person to email, but something to think about. Their website, the LinkedIn URL, then that specific LinkedIn message you have. So all you have to do, really, if you're going to do this manual LinkedIn messaging, you can click on the link, send the message, and it's a really good start. So you can do all that for the information you get. Then it's going to go through, find the email for you, and we got the subjects in here, subject 1, and it's all these hyper personalized emails. Let me make this a little bit bigger to see, you can see this more. Hey Lloyd, I know this border recently launched a secure lab to tackle water leakage. Really cool. You would never notice. If you would just go randomly email them, you would never notice because you're writing out integrated systems. Companies often deal with too many manual tech requests. Would it be crazy to do a call like that? So 3 emails, hyper personalized in it. And we'll get through the next part as we go through the demo, but all the next part is going to do is it's going to connect into high level, puts these awesome now looking emails in here into a great HTML format for us and send them out in the campaign using your Go High Level CRM system. So see how the emails look a little bit different. It just means they come out in a better looking quality. So really, really good where it comes from in here, makes it look professional. So it's a total team effort in here. And this kind of really just does the same thing, scraping, data editing, data editing, data editing, data output. And the same works with the version that I've built, and I'll show you that at the end, how to create your own SaaS plan with it. So all you have to do, for example, in here is, let's stop this one for a second. So I am gonna turn that off. I am gonna turn this one on, connect that in here, push the P in here. Now I've just built basics of websites in here. Hit the refresh in here. And this does very much a similar thing, except it's going to email us out our spreadsheet. So your lead system, build your SaaS website, build this one on Lovable, super easy. And you can sign up, connect your Stripe to it, connect your Superbase to it. But your clients will fill this in. For example, again, same kind of thing. I'm going to put it to a different email address quickly. And I'm going to say again, roofing, roofer, Australia. Number of leads, just 1 for this. And we have this workflow running in here while we're waiting. And my balance is 0. So I probably see if this works without it. No, not enough credits. So you would add your card in, fill in your credits. Now I have 5 credits on my account. Submit that through. It's taken my credits off me, obviously. And here it goes. Does the same kind of thing. But this creates an actual spreadsheet for us first. So the top part is really important. Now, let me go find my other email address quickly for you. It should be up in here. You can watch it on the side, and we do pretty much the same thing. So I'll show you what the client will receive. Yeah, and we'll just give it a couple of seconds, and we just see, who did I email? I need to find that email address quickly. Just while all this loads, still scrolling, still scraping. And we'll just give it a second. So exactly the same thing works in like this. So the client, your lead, will get a basic email like this, just saying, hey, your leads are being created, the status is still in process, and you can open the link tab at any time you want. So let's give that a couple of seconds to scrape out. Does the same thing, and we'll see if it actually finds the same person. But now to convert this into a SaaS, you just need this workflow. Need a simple page like this. You connect your Stripe integration, which Lovable does. You connect your Superbase integration for actual usernames and passwords. And all it does is you can sell this. So if your lead is going to cost you about $1.60 for 1,000, you can really look at something like 10xing it because you're using all your extra credits for it. So anything from $10 for 10,000 leads would be pretty viable. So done in here. So come to your email, comes with a little link in here, and once we open it, we should have all your leads in here, and it found George again, obviously, in it. So really super advanced, and that's George, quite funny like that. And it is really advanced, and it is a little bit more complicated, but this makes it super valuable. And I'll show you now how we're going to build this out from the start. So I'll show you, obviously I'll leave this workflow for you to download, and all you need to do is import it and just fill in the bits. It's going to make it really easy to understand. So we'll go through the modules, but all you have to do is come in, load the file. So I'll save the file, and all you have to come do is import the file in here. You'll receive a blank item in here, and we're just going to need to go through the actual API keys that we need to fill in within here, and I'll show you how to set up Go high level so we can use this awesome part in here. So really good, and we'll get into the second part in here with the import export, and I'll show you how to get all of these done and ready to go. Super easy. Sounds complicated, but it's going to be made real easy for you. So obviously the first thing you're going to need is a N8N. So let me just move this one up here for a little second. N8N, get it from your website. I highly suggest you use the code that I have below, because hosting it is hosting. You have your own self-hosted N8N server. When you use the code down below plus the Black Friday sale, you actually get a massive saving on a hosting account. This has dropped so crazy. Usually it's $6 something, almost $7. Now it's gone down to $5, plus you get the discount code that I have down the bottom, and you end up saving, I'll see what it's up at now. It just keeps going up. The savings are ridiculous. $288 at this time you save by just doing this. So your N8N plan goes from unlimited N8Ns, $6 a month, rather than the $26 for limited access by N8N. So really, really good saving to have right there. Now, the next thing we're going to need is the Google Sheet. So make sure you save that. I'll leave the link below. But we need a Google Sheet with some headings at the very start at least. So first name, last name, and there's going to be a lot more information, so you can customize this as much as you want. There's going to be some cell phone numbers. I'll show you we get when we do all of these. But this is just what I want. What's important for me is I want the first name, last name, the company name, the job title, the website, and then I want their LinkedIn details, including our LinkedIn message, and then their email and their email messages that we're going to send. So this is what works for me. Totally customizable. Change it out. I'll show you how to link this in. Now, our scraping tool down here is going to come from Apify. Now, if you have used Apify in the past, it is a system that you sign up for, and there is a monthly charge for it. However, that monthly charge is the credit that you put onto your account. So you don't actually pay them a monthly subscription for it. You pay a monthly credit onto your account that you use. So I told you that these $1,000 leads that you can get from here is about $1.60 per lead, and that just means it will go off your account from in here. So go create an account, then come to API keys and create an API key for yourself, and we're going to go create one now anyway. So once you sign in and you come up in the start, you'll have something looking very similar like this. Obviously got all my things that I use in here, but what you're going to do is just come to settings on the side, and we're API on the top right hand side, and you can see all your endpoints in here. Don't worry about any of this. It's going to go to manage tokens. We're going to create a new token, and we're going to call this token description must delete token for YouTube, and I'm going to set the expiry date to tomorrow. So just say you don't see it, but we have to create in here must delete expiring tomorrow, and I'm going to copy this, and all I'm going to do is a notepad on the side that I have in here, and I'm just going to save this one in here. So once you have that, you're set up and ready to go. You actually don't have to do and worry about anything else, but I'm also going to tell you how things work. So the next thing you're going to do is I'll give you the link below. You're just going to come in here, file, and you're going to import from URL. I'll import from file, and you'll be able to download this exact file in like this. Just for purposes, just disconnect this one for now so it doesn't send it straight to your CRM, and we'll get through the Go High Level setup really soon. I just want to give you a bit more of an explanation what's happening in here, but all you really have to do, if you don't want to care about the explanation or how things work, you can just come in through here, and you just need to put in your API keys in here. So there's 3 places to put them in. 1, 2, sorry, and one more place down here. Sorry, just click this one and here. All right, so got your API tokens in here, 4 places to put them in. All right, so if you don't want to care about anything else, that's it, and you actually set up ready to go, right? And the last one you need is Perplexity. So it's just a matter of coming to Perplexity. You can sign up for free on Perplexity, and it's also just an API key, so it's a pay per usage, and you set this up in your settings. In here, API key, you put $10 on, and you just pay as you use. Really low fees in here. And I'll see once it loads up API billing. I'll put $10 in here. Put $10 on before, and I got extra credit, and I still got like $14 left, and I've done quite a lot. Okay, so make sure you get that API key, you copy that over, and if you don't have a Chat GPT OpenAI API key, the same thing, you're going to head over to platform at OpenAI, and again, API keys, you register for free, you pay for the usage. The same thing in here, API keys, you're going to create a new API key for yourself in here. As you can see, I got quite a lot. However, you need to put a bit of money on here, and they go down really, really slow. If you ever want to wonder how much they are getting charged, you can look at what's a good website for it. OpenRouter shows that really well. And we can look here for GPT 4.1. No, that's using the model. My bad. It's going to come through here. Click on these. And we can change and look up different models. And here, where is it? Models. GPT 4.1. Obviously, we'll be on their website as well. I just always like to come here. And you can see input output is 40 cents per million tokens. That is ridiculously cheap, all right? You obviously input output, but just something to consider. That's why we use GPT 4.1 or at least, or 4.1 mini, depending which one you go on. But once you have all that set up, you're ready to go. Now, what this does and what Apify is Apify is one tool where people have built out self-hosting scraping function tool. So there's a bunch of stuff on here that gives you a bunch of functionality to connect to the systems, to do things like website scraping, LinkedIn scraping, data enrichment, your YouTube transcripting. So if you dumb everything down, take away all the user interfaces, in the back end somewhere there is a virtual machine running. On side of this virtual machine there will be some Python code or similar running, and you have an input in there. This Python code or code will execute some stuff and give you an output. And that's the basics of Apify. So people create these things which is called actors on here, and there are a lot of it. All right, there's a lot of it. TikTok scrapers. You can get Instagram post extractors. Oh, sorry, there's all the Instagram things in here. Now, what used to work is a lot of people actually build out a Apify API extractor tool where instead of sorry, not Apollo. So Apollo is probably one of the top lead. It's in here, Apollo IO. It's probably one of the top data enrichment systems out there at the moment. They have been for a while. They pay to get back insight into databases where people register businesses. So you get access to those CTOs, CEOs, verified contacts, and it's a really, really great system. However, you pay a lot for your information. So you can get 30,000 leads a month for $50. That is that still works you out pretty expensive. Okay, so just think about all of these things. This is probably the most popular one that people go, and these leads should at least give you one client. But it doesn't do any of the other cool stuff. Now, people used to build back end functionality into this. Then they changed a couple of things, so all the things in here stopped working, and a lot of people got stuck. However, there's a new system now that's come out, and it's this person here, which is Lead Finders. It's an alternative to Apollo, and what these things do, like I say, is kind of just a startup. It starts up, it scans the different data structures and gives you all this information in here: job titles, locations, emails, company names, size, industry, keywords, revenue, funding. So it gives you a lot of information in here, and you can see the basics. And here's how much it gets charged, and every time you run and activate it, and it's going to be in here and runs, so you can see there's always a log for what you have done, and this would be the one that we have just done. So that one person was about 2 cents on it, and you can see in here I did this 19,200 of them, and end up getting charged $38. So I made that mistake early on, but anyway, so about 2 cents for one person if you ever want to work out how it is. Now we're going to use a bunch of Apify tools to create our tool. So if we come back in here, we are going to use the lead scraper. Then we're going to use the LinkedIn post scraper, a LinkedIn profile scraper, and a website scraper. Right, so really cool tools within Apify that we're going to put together and use. So the LinkedIn post scraper is what it is. It's going to find your LinkedIn URL. It's going to scrape your latest post. Because we can make things really personalized from there when we scrape the latest post. Then we're going to come to Apify as well, or the next one is going to be the profile scraper. So we scrape your post, scrape your profile. So if we look at LinkedIn, the first thing it's going to do is we're going to have, so let's go find a random person within here. Someone that I'm not following. So Nick in here. So first thing it's going to do is going to come through and it's going to scrape Nick's profile in here, for example, and you're going to get everything here from Nick that would be on the first page in here. And obviously then you start giving the stuff to your large language module and it will be able to extract really cool and great stuff in here. But usually people's latest posts, especially when you talk about CEOs, really put their latest launch or accomplishments in the latest posts in here. So we'll be able to get those as well. So activity latest posts in here. So we'll find, and I've set it to the latest 2. You can change that, but all it does is it comes through and it looks at what he said in here, and we feed that to a large language module to see if this is really valuable. Okay, so does that. It does the next part is obviously the profile scraper, and then we have the website crawler. So this is just an alternative to there's a lot of website crawler or website extractor out there, like Firecrawl is Firebase is another one on there that you can use. I just use this one instead because it actually scrapes it out a lot better for us. Just a different website crawler. So we're going to have our information on our lead. It's going to come through and we're going to get that website and we're going to feed the system the website. It's going to download the website in text format for us and give it to our large language module to extract some stuff from it. So those are the basic things you need to set up. All right. So let me now go through it all. At the end of the day, you don't need to worry about any of these. This is going to sort it all out for you. All you need is those API keys. So how this works is going to be like this. And again, everything is customizable where we can actually take our input. This is going to be from a form. You can have this any other way you want. If you want to have it in the web format, if you want to have it a webhook, whatever you need to do. But I'm just going to enable this, and it's just a basic form that looks like this. So the form will have a actual website that we use in it, so you can connect to it. And I've just put a basic username and password on it. Then I give it the form name, and what this form does is it's going to collect those 3 parts of the information to us. So, and we'll just go backwards and forwards a little bit just so you understand that once we start scraping this, what we want to do is we want to give the job titles and then the locations and then the amounts that we want to run. All right, how many we should do. All right, many one at a time. Okay, so we need to gather that information from somewhere. All right, so that's what we're doing here. So I have the 3 variant options in here, just a in form. So you just go through in here, you create a form. If it's an instant form, if you want to have a website form, you can do that as well, like I showed you before. But it's just important to gather those basic details. And when you run the form, and we'll do one module at a time, it will look like this. Really awesome in here. So let's look up plumbing, for example, this time. So, and again, if you want to add more details into it, you just need to link these details through in here, and I'll show you where to link it up through and what it looks like. But what we have is need to find that form again. So, and again, if you want to add more details into it, you just need to link these details through in here, and I'll show you where to link it up through and what it looks like. But what we have is need to find that form again. So let's just go through this. Plumbing, plumber, and we can just hit plumbing again because we're only gonna get one result anyway. Australia, and what we're gonna look for is just one lead in here. I'm gonna hit the submit in here, and what I should have done is just execute one form at a time. All right, so we got the information from here, and it's passed it through onto our lead extractor in here. So let me reset this quickly for us. So I'm going to pull this form in here. I'm going to execute this step, and we're going to restart that for us. So let's quickly go through one module at a time. So you understand Australia, one, submit in here. So information comes in, industry, plumber, and these are all that's linked up to us. Okay, so plumber, and that's mapped it all out into these set ones for us. So we're going to hit the pin button in here so we can now work with this. So we're going to come back for our next one, double click this one. So all of this will be pre-filled in for you, but this just means we're going to connect to our Apify actor, and that's the actor's name. We're going to use our API key, and we're going to send some information through in there. The information we're going to send through is the job titles, which we have in here. We're going to send through the country, which we have in here, and we want to check for emails that's validated, and we want to fetch the amount. The amount we want to fetch is going to be 1. And that's just literally information that we straight on give to this actor in here. Going to execute this step in here. It's going to start executing. And what you can actually come in here is you see runs. And it's done that within 4 seconds. Should be this one now, 4:47. Yeah, that one. So in a couple of seconds, it comes back with a lot of business details. So, and through here, scroll this to the side. So first name Tom, Martin come back, email. We don't have a personal email for him, but we have a work email that always does is the name. Business owner, license holder is a plumber and drainage. I should have looked at that. LinkedIn profile, company website, industry, and it's got all this really great information within here. Now, once we have this information, let's pin this part in here. Now, the next part is the research team. This is going to become a little bit advanced, but what we need to think is we have our orchestrator. What our orchestrator is going to say, go through and find LinkedIn stuff down here. It's going to go through and find website stuff down here. Give it back to me, and let's create a really cool response with all the information. So I'm not going to go through the entirety of the prompt, but all we do is mapping things along. So we're mapping the person's name. We're mapping the company name, the website that we have in here, the LinkedIn profile, because we need to describe it, in the company description. Then the down part in here, this is the really cool part in here, is this entirety of this prompt. Now, very long prompt, read through it. Jack from his automations, actually I got a lot from there from him that I've copied out in it. So it's a very crazy prompt where it says you are the orchestrator. You have 2 options. You have the LinkedIn tool, you have the web scraping tool. But what I want you to do is get some facts, get some information on all of this, and give it back to us. So your capability is scrape the company's website, use Perplexity or Traveler if you have that, to search the internet. You're going to find the company name, the website, and the country. And then we are going to look at some specific metrics, company facts, any recent triggers that's up 6 to 12 months. Are they hiring? Are they growing? Do they have new customers? And then we're going to use the LinkedIn scraper. So the LinkedIn scraper is going to be our LinkedIn AI tool. And then we're going to scrape the LinkedIn profile from the business. We're going to put out recent stuff like the bio, the interest, the causes. We're going to look for personal information. and then we're going to extract the LinkedIn post as well in here. And the mission of this AI agent, this is really our super AI agent, is to come up with a bunch of facts that are really worthy. So we're getting very specific. It needs to be recent. It needs to be personalized. Then we need to create a personalized LinkedIn message. And you'll see in it, very long prompt. Not going to go through all of it too much, but we just give it a bunch of instructions and then say we want a very specific output that we want. So the fact where we get it from, the fact where we get it from, and we also want the personalized LinkedIn message. So once you download this, you have all of this really good winning prompt in here. But what this AI agent will do is it will then go through our LinkedIn AI agent. And this has something very similar in here where we give it all these tools, all the details, and tell it to extract stuff from LinkedIn for us. And it needs to give very specific use cases for those one-liners for opening LinkedIn personalized messages. So very, very focused on getting LinkedIn information. So you're not really sending long details on LinkedIn. It's going to be short, sharp messages. So instructions for this to use these two tools down here. Instructions for the web scraper. Again, same thing. I'm telling it to use the web scraping tool, and I'm telling it to use Perplexity to get some information from the business for us. So we'll let this run, and I'm going to go execute this step. And here it's going to think stuff. And this is the beauty part. It runs these agents simultaneously, so multitasking, where this agent runs these agents at the same time, but this agent also runs these tools at the same time. So we'll run this tool, get information, run this tool, get information, then compile everything in here. This will get all this information. It will run Perplexity, which is really fast. Then it will run the web scraper in here, which is really fast. And then just bam, feeds everything to our orchestrator. And once the orchestrator is there, it's going to have that very specific output. And we have an output phraser in here that we want it to look really specific in here. So that's take a little bit of time. This is on GPT 4.1, so don't use mini for this one, just because we giving it a bit more information is a bit more beefier in here. So let's give this a second to load, and you'll see what it does. So now it's gotten all the information to here. Orchestrator is looking at it, it's given it to ChatGPT, and it's given all this information to us. So let's just quickly look down here and double click on this one. Double click on this one, and we'll move this a little bit to the side, and you can see from in here, and we can actually look up this profile in here. Paste that one from here, and it's a business profile. Tom Martin, here he is. We got all this information, and it now actually extracted for us on it, including with his latest posts. And I actually think he's got a latest post. Tom doesn't have any posts, so not the best example. This will be the last information post he made, and it's actually just shared this one. So not a good example. Tom wasn't here for us to use, but we'll see what it picks up. So Tom, he's the general manager at Watertight Camera, which is going to be a really good lead. But you just get more business information about him, and especially the about section that they fill in, and that really good. So let's just see what it actually finds of the post. He would have shared some posts, so just some images in here. So not much information on here that he has. A huge technical partners administrator, guess. So that's 2 years ago. Okay, so not the best example. He's not a very active LinkedIn user, but that's okay. We've come for our web scraper in here, and it's scraped out the website for us. It's got the website description, and it's got all the website information. Yeah, really cool tool in here to scrape the website details. And it's got a long set of text in here for our website, so we know what the website's about. And then Perplexity, see what that found on it. So it goes through camera, water player, so it finds a lot of information on it, results, website. Oh, it found something, plumbing awards winner. That's going to be cool. I wonder if it's going to send something with us. Anyway, it sends all these details up to our main orchestrator in here. And here we go. It's come up with these facts. So watertight camera award winner. Great. What a great opening. It is a little bit old, but that's all right. It's still pretty good. He's been appointed the senior vice president. He is the ROP team leader at the Scouts. This cool fact about Tom. Really cool stuff, right? So it couldn't find 5 facts. That's okay. And hey, a personal message to it, awards your team. So really cool. All right. So it actually gone, and I don't think it actually found that from LinkedIn, but it goes out, creates it. Awesome. So now we have all of this. Now this cool part, and here comes along. So what this prompt does is we want subjects that's very specific. We want an opening liner. That first line is really specific. Then we want something specific to our business. So this is where you are going to need to do your own bit of editing in here, especially if you're going to sell this out to someone. But all that we're doing is we're passing on information into the user prompt. Fact 1, fact 2, fact 4. And we don't want to worry about the LinkedIn message. We have that. That's all good enough. But all I'm saying in here about our business, so I'm saying who the person are that we're targeting, or the people, the facts that we've just gathered. Then I'm saying a little bit about our business, because we're going to use this. And we're saying a little bit about the email signature, which is really cool. And then this system prompt in here. And again, very long, we're going to go through all of it, but I'm saying is your job is to create a really hyper personalized email. Take all this information, first names, last names, customer details. Your mission is to create 5 unique emails. Each email must have the following structure. Hello, first name. I noticed that company name is done something. Would it be crazy to make a call? So this is specific to me. If you want to change this, the signature in here. We put a little bit of rules and how things should look. Things not to say, sound human. Short emails is really good. And then finally, we need to give an output like this. All right. So I'll show you. Let's quickly execute this step. That's pinned. This is going to execute in here. And we'll take a couple of bits, and then again in here we use a specific output that we want. We want a JSON output, so we can map it through to our email tool. But I also have the Think tool in here. Your tool, the final creation, decide that emails make sense and is readable. So just before you create your emails, take 1 second, think about if you actually have this and made it sound really good. So and come through, move this over to the side, and here we go. Hey Tom, I noticed that Watertight Camera won the recent awards. So imagine receiving your email now, or did I still have the other Gmail open in here? I'll quickly go find an example for you so you can see what I mean. When you look at your emails, you will have the subject in, and we'll have that first line in here. Okay, so that first line is really important because we have the subject and first line. All right, so if we can nail this and nail this part, it's going to be really good for you. Okay, so that is why this part, hey Tom, when he reads it, it's going to say, hey, it's to me, Tom, and it's going to say, hey, I noticed you are winner of the award. And it's like, okay, this person is actually looking into our stuff. Then it's going to have the part, because you've been innovating in this property manager company. Now it's going to figure out the personal use fact for our settings. So you're going to struggle to keep up with your workflow, client numbers. And with System Pros AI, we can handle repetitive leads, service calls, bookings, and things like that. How about we have a quick call, right? So really basics in here, but it makes for a really hyper personalized email, which makes it really super valuable. So really good noted in. All of these are really fantastic workers. Imagine having to hire these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, right? So massive, right? So next part is all we're going to do is just update our spreadsheet, and it's just the normal logging tool where we find the information in here and we're mapping it out to our Google Sheet. So obviously you need to connect a Google account. It needs to be connected, lots of other videos, and it's going to call your sheet name, and it's going to be a pen a row, and the last row we're just going to map each column to what we have. Now if you want to have more stuff in here, it's going to be the find leads module in here. If you want to map things like city, state, what else do we have? Founder year. If you want to map all these other information, which is sometimes it gets, sometimes it doesn't, company technologies. And here you just need to create appending rows and columns within here. But all this does, we're going to execute this step in here. And we have all this added onto our Google Sheet. And I've done Tom actually quite a few times, but here he is, the last one in here. All right, so really cool. Now you have a login here. If you want to send that first LinkedIn message, you can click on the LinkedIn profile, send that message in here. And the next part in here is more to do with our CRM. So I'm going to come back in here and double click this. We're going to use the pin data so we don't have to go through it all again. Now, the next part is just creating really good looking emails. And all I'm telling it is I give it an example of what an email should look like. And I'm telling it to create it in the HTML format. Very similar to this, where I want an email to have our business logo, and I wanted to have the business information in here, have a heading, have my little photo in here, and have this in here. So this is made specifically for me. So you're going to have to edit this part in here. It all comes under the prompt. Now, I do suggest you go look this up, use ChatGPT if you need to, but so email 1, email 2, email 3 that I have in here. We don't worry about the subject because we'll link that up later on, but all I'm telling this AI agent is to go through in here, and I give it an example of an HTML formatted email in here. You're an HTML editor, you receive 3 emails, your task is to make it look pretty, and within here I have all my images linked up. Okay, so and you can see when you execute this, I don't know if I'll be able to copy the whole thing, but if we hit this in here and execute this step within here, and what we should get, you'll see, is you'll get all the very specific HTML formatted emails that we can import into our CRM. So we're doing this very specifically to import it into our CRM system for our campaign. So you don't have to rewrite campaigns. You don't have to go and have multiple custom values in it. It's going to make it super easy and go high level for it. So it's a bit of a coding experience in here. So coding agent. So it's actually vibe coding a bit of stuff here on the side. Now, you could build this out with the normal code tool if you want to as well. I just find this a bit easier, at least. So very long HTML details that come through in here, and we'll quickly see. Let me do this. Let's say code, or we can say, I just want to show you what it would look like. Set. So nothing to do with this. I'm just going to go through and add this value in here, expression come through in here, and you'll be able to see a bunch of code within here. Then what I should be able to do is ChatGPT, display this in the canvas. Display this in the canvas. Paste that. All I'm doing is just extracting the data just so you can see what it is. Don't need this one. I just want to delete that out for you so you can see it. And it's going to hit the save button as well. And we'll give it a second. Preview. Allow. Oh, it doesn't like that. There you go. So that's half a thing that's come through. ChatGPT, terrible job it did. I might not have copied everything, but this is what it will look like. Hopefully we have a bit more details later on. It just creates a personalized email. Hey, Tom. And it missed the bottom part. I don't know why it doesn't show that, but I know this is going to be the email for you. Looks good, looks professional. And all we're going to do is now feed this into our CRM system, which is going to be Go High Level. So it starts sending this out automatically in a campaign as well. So we have this entire system, 6 agents that do amazing work. It scrapes some more. Once it has a lot more data, it creates really good facts and openness to it, and then takes those facts and information, creates really personalized emails for them with an opening line, a subject, takes our company details, considers who and what they are, and solve a problem with our product. So it's a problem-solving product. And then sends it out, puts it in the log, 5 systems, makes the emails look pretty, and now we're going to connect it to Go High Level to send it out automatically. So all you have to do is once a week, once a day, come through here, do 1,000, do 500, do 100 a day, like Hermosi said, come through, select 100, push them out, send them through, and it goes out in autopilot. So good to do. So next part, Go High Level part. All right. So the high level part is actually going to be super easy because we use webhooks for it. So let me just make sure we actually come through in here, and we're going to pin this data in here, and then I'm going to connect this through in here. Now, I'm going to scroll down the side in here. Before we fill this out, you're going to come to your Go High Level, and we're going to create a new workflow. Select from scratch. And this is going to be called, I'm going to call this one must delete. And we're going to go build it out really fast. So let me zoom in. So our trigger, we're going to send this over via webhooks. Now I made a lot of good videos on webhooks and how to do this, but we have webhooks in here. We're just going to wait for an inbound webhook. Now, this is going to be, we'll go through the pricing at the end so you can figure out how much this will cost. But the premium triggers are about 1 cent for it. So we've got a premium webhook that's going to come in. This is our webhook address in here. And again, we have one of these HTTP modules. We're just going to double click on that one. And in the very top, we are going to replace this with our new URL in here. And you don't have to fill out anything, but what this does is it goes through and gets our subjects that we created at the start, our new subjects, and then you link it up to it. So subject 1, I drag this over to it, and like this, come through in here, and you link your subject 1. Then we're going to link our edited email. So email 1 is going to be our one from the HTML editor. So up here is going to be email 1. You're going to do the same for email 2, email 3, email 4. So what's important in here is that we use the HTML font there. Now, if you're not, and you do not want to send HTML like that, and you're going to skip this module out, you can just use the actual emails that we have from in here if you want to send out plain text emails. Okay, so either way, you're all good with that. So then we're going to extract the first name from our contacts. So first name extracted, last name extracted from the scrapes that we did here at the start, and the email address. Now, if you want to have other business details that we're going to create into Go High Level as a contact, you just keep adding them along in here. For example, company name, you might want that. Company name, and we need to have this in here. Name like this, and we are, where is it? Company name in here, which is probably a good thing that you can have. So we're going to hit execute step in here. You'll be set it's send that, and it's received the first message. So when we go back into High Level, you're going to click this part in here. It says fetch sample, and you can see it just received the payload in here. Sweet. Now all the information, can we zoom in here a little bit? All the information that we just did is all in here. So you can see subject, email, subject, email, subject, email, first name, last name, company name. So the first thing, because Go High Level is a CRM system, once you have that, we are going to need to create a contact. So we're going to create a contact in here. The contact we're going to update is, or create, is first name. And then we're just going to map this out from our custom triggers. So if you haven't used Go High Level before, your custom values is in here. We're going to pick the inbound webhook trigger, and we're going to look for that first name one in there. And then the next one, add field, last name, come from here. We're going to link that up to inbound trigger. And I should probably put this at the top, last name in here. Then we're going to go and link up the email address. So your email address, and we're going to link this up in here. Now, just for this part in here, inbound trigger, email address, down the bottom, email address. I'm not going to have this. I'm just going to write my other email address in here because I don't actually want to send him emails. So let me quickly come in here. I'm going to open my other account, come through in here, copy that part in there. So I want to have that one in there. All right. So you're going to select the other one in there if you need to. And we're also going to update the company details, add a field, company, business, business name. And we can add this in here, inbound trigger, and company name. All right. Save that trigger. So what this does is it will create a contact or update a contact. Create or update a contact. It's going to find the contact really by the email address and update that. So next step you're going to have to do is you probably want to add them as an opportunity, or you want to add a tag. Definitely going to add a tag for them. The tag is going to be that scrape lead from in at in. Have that person in there. Then we're going to put them in the opportunity in your pipeline. They are going to go in the pipeline that I already have in here. The system process pipeline. The stage is going to be a new lead. The contact is going to be from the contact names. The source is going to be in scrape. The potential value is going to be $500 or $499, whichever one you want. Status is going to be open. So that needs to be numbers. So your lead's going to come in, it's going to create, update it, it's going to add a tag, it's going to create an opportunity. Then we're going to send it an email. And all of this is now filled out. So we're going to quickly look at this. You don't have to fill out anything in here. The subject, we're going to link into inbound webhook. Subject 1, we're going to come through here, go and see. This should work straight away. We're going to say email 1. I save. You're going to wait a day. For this, we're going to wait 0.2. Should be a couple of seconds. I'm going to say email again. Now, obviously, you're going to do a day or in between, or 2 days in between. Email subject, and then webhook trigger, subject to email, and then webhook email to. And I'm just going to save this for now. I'm not going to build out the rest. You get the idea. Copy paste this. Keep going until you have all 5 or all 3. Depends how much you have. So it's super easy for this part. We're going to publish this. Save this on. Now the first one was just a test. Let's see what happens when we go back in here. And I'm going to say execute the step again. And then success. It started our webhook. I can look through in here now. I can see enrollments, who's come through. Inbound webhook has come through in here. Added to workflow, execution steps. Email error. All right, it does not like a part in here. Email 2. It does not like a bit of parts in here. So let me quickly go see what happened in here. So what seems to have happened with that formatting in there is that it actually shows up and tries to create and add an emojis in here, which is really a bit frustrating. So all I did was in the workflow, come back in here within our prompt, said, don't use emojis. I don't know why all of a sudden it starts doing it. Fun things about AI, I've pushed that through. And again, it's come through in here, and we'll go back in here. It's created a new workflow. It's come through. We've added and updated the contact. We've added the opportunity. The email has been sent out. It's waited a day or 2 and this one a couple of seconds. Send through the second email. And of course, you can build out your campaign as you want to. But when you actually go look in here in the contact, you will see it's created a new contact for you. It's put them in an opportunity and it's sent through those emails for us. And if we go back into here, you will see them just coming in, and you have that main opening line. Like I said, System Pros, my email, a quick question, and it's got a hey Tom, I noticed that water key Darken was one of the recent awards, and they'll be like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let's click into that first part in there, and that's pretty much the basics of how that works. So I hope that wasn't too complicated. I hope you understand what's happening through and in here. And it makes sense. But we have all our agents, and this is the right one in here that we've worked through. We have all our agents doing these really cool things to create a really super cool, hyperless, personalized email subject line body call to action for our business. And it really saves you a lot of money, a lot of thinking, a lot of scraping through. And at the end of the day, you have a really cool system built out exactly like this, where you at least have it logged. And if you want to use the plain text in here, you can. You just got to copy and paste those emails across out and through. So really cool system to go out through. Now the rest of the things is really self-explanatory as well, and I'll leave the links to you below. But all this does, the next part is just with a webhook, and if you're in the community, I'll share this extra part with you. I'll share the lovable site with you, but it just sends through a webhook once someone pays with Stripe, buys the credit, sends through the webhook, but this time it creates a spreadsheet first, shares the spreadsheet out in the email, and then does things through to it. So you can really have your own little SaaS business in the back end for it. So hope this all makes sense. Now, if you want to know where to get all these cool things, I will leave the links down the bottom. And number 1, school group, obviously the main one. Yes, it's the payment for it, but you get free stuff like unlimited go high level. You can't beat that. The unlimited go high level, all the extra blueprints, extra training, extras on extras on extras for it. So really worth checking out. It's almost at capacity as well. Also, if you're just here for the free stuff, that's all right too. It's in the free school group. I'll leave that link below. Lots of cool extra free stuff in here that I've added through the year. It's quite massive, growing quite a lot, over 1,000 members in here as well. So everything everywhere to link down the bottom. I just hope you do understand how all of these work. You're just going to have to figure out your own costing, because this is costing a little bit of money. You can see it was about 2 cents per lead. Obviously, the more you do, the more it will cost you. The LinkedIn scraper in here was 1 cent. The other LinkedIn scraper was free. Actually, it's so little, it doesn't even use any power, so that's free for that first scrape. If you do 2, it's 1 cent. So just depending how much data there obviously is, it's about 1 cent, so you get 2 cents per person, then 1 cent per disc, 1 cent again, so up to 3 cents. The website crawl might be a little bit, and it all depends on the website. This will be 2 cents, right? So in fact, I missed this 1 cent. So this will be 2 to 3 cents. So it depends how big the website is that we need to crawl. So at least you have 1, 2, 3, 4 cents per it. And then if you're going to connect, go high level to it, it's going to be an extra cent of 5 cents per one lead you're looking at. You can go work out your large language modules scrapes through as well, if you need to go look at that in later runs as well, if you want to work that out. But yeah, you're looking at maybe a 50 cents more, 50 to $1 per lead. So it still works out super cheap for you to sell and scrape and use yourself. So time, money, effort, value, it all works out really well together. So really long video. Hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it, and hope you take something really good away from it. So talk to you soon. Make sure you like, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you go check out all these awesome things in here. Lots of free stuff down here, and lots of free stuff everywhere, and let's build awesome AI systems.